Hello everyone and welcome to Finnvivor Paldea. My name is Finnegan Flynn, but you can call me Finn, and I will be your host this evening. 18 players have entered my Discord server to compete in a game based on the hit reality show Survivor and themed on the 9th generation of Pokemon, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. They're going to be faced with a series of challenges and twists, but the unique aspect about this game is that they get to vote on what order to take these on, just like a real open world game, I guess. They'll have to adapt or they will be voted out of the game. One by one, players will leave the server until only 3 or 2 players are left standing. Then a jury of players who are ultimately voted out will come together and decide which person should be named the Sole Finnvivor Winner. And that player will earn a grand prize of 1 month of Discord Nitro on me. That's the grandest prize I can afford right now. But before we can get into the game, we gotta know the players, so let's dive right into the cast reveal. Our first player is someone. No, really, someone unknown. That's the dude's name. So someone unknown comes to us from Season 5 of Finnvivor, where he was the first boot. He returned in Season 7, Finnvivor Second Chances, on a tribe of Davids, 11 people who had yet to live up to their potential in Finnvivor, and he outlasted every single one of them, but fell short of making it to the end. Now he's here. Will he be able to make it to the end this time? Alright, for our next player, tell me, how does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman dropped in them? Okay, I'm probably going to get copyrighted if I keep going. It's Alexander. Now, Alexander is really fun. This is his 4th Finnvivor production in a row. He joined us for Finnvivor Borneo, our 12th season, which was a season with no twists and no idols. It went about as well as you could expect, and Alexander was rocked out at the final 10. He came back for Season 13, Finnvivor Blood vs. Water, where he made it to the final 6 and inadvertently caused a rock draw, almost getting rocked out of the game a second time. But he was able to avoid it and instead get voted out in 5th place. He came back for a 3rd time for our Finnvivor Big Brother spin-off, where he was booted in 10th place, the last member of the pre-jury. Now he's back for redemption again. Now, I can already tell this next player is going to be a bit controversial because, Chad, this isn't a Paldean whooper, it's just a regular whooper. How dare you? So Chad's whole thing is the Whooper Brigade. For a long time, this whooper here, that was his profile picture. But now that we're in Paldea, that's not what Whooper looks like. What are you doing, Chad? Chad has played Finnvivor before in Finnvivor Half-Blood Hill, where he made the merge, but unfortunately didn't make it much further than that. He returned to play in Finnvivor Blood vs. Water Season 13, where he and his partner were both voted out and eliminated from Redemption Island very early into the game. He returned one more time for Finnvivor Presents Big Brother, where he made the jury, if I remember correctly. I don't know how well he did, but he made the jury. That's something. He is back once again to prove himself. Will he be able to make the jury this time? Alright, y'all. Next, we have to talk about the S word. No, and I'm not talking about shit. I don't care about curse words. It's fine. Here in Wisconsin, the S word is snow. Or as I should say, snowy. Especially in April when this was filmed because, fuck, the snow. Honestly, I'm not gonna get into that. Wisconsin has issues. Our next player is a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Hips are plastic. So fantastic. It has been a while and we are welcoming Barbs back to Finnvivor. Now, Barbs is another unique figure in Finnvivor history. She played in Season 5 and Season 7 of Finnvivor, and both times she played, her fate was the exact same. She made it all the way to the final 7, where she only received 1 vote against her name. However, because someone played a hidden immunity idol canceling all of the other 6 votes, Barbs was voted out in 7th place. If I had a nickel for every time that Barbs got idled out with 1 vote, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Alright, so full disclosure, I hate basketball, so I really have nothing clever to say about this, so I'm just gonna tell a joke. And the joke is, why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 ain't 9. I'm funny. Anyways, the next player we're introducing is Giannis. Now, obviously that's not his real name. I'm not going to disclose his real name, but this is someone that I actually know in real life. He's a massive Survivor fan, and he comes into the season wanting to play like Rick Devens, which means he's either going to be the 4th boot or take 4th place, or both. I guess we'll have to see. A little over 3 years ago, the very first season of Finnvivor began. It's kind of wild we're actually coming up on 4 years ago now at the time of recording this video. And I am extremely happy to announce that we have not 1, but 2 Season 1 players cast here in the Finnvivor reboot. First up, someone who's been here since the very beginning as a production member or a player. We are welcoming back Leona. Now, Leona has given so much to this org, I can't even begin to explain. There was at one point, she went out to a marketplace in the middle of the night just so that she would have Wi-Fi to be online for a tribal council where she really wasn't even in any danger to begin with. So that level of dedication, it was just painfully obvious that I had to bring Leona back for our reboot. Next up, we have a true Finnvivor all-star, playing in Season 1, Season 4, and our Heroes vs. Villains season as a member of the Heroes tribe. Now, unfortunately, she didn't last very long in the latter of those seasons, but in Season 1 and Season 4, she definitely made her mark. We are talking about none other than Ari. She is back here to slay, and let me tell you, she's got the confessionals to back it up. Now, did you know that it's possible to be a season? That's right, it's the girl who is a season, it's Autumn, another Finnvivor newbie. Now, the unique thing with Autumn is that I actually know her in real life. More than that, I live with her in real life. She's my roommate. We have been best friends since about high school, maybe even earlier. I don't know, time manages to slip by. But when she moved in, I got her hooked on Survivor, which is often what happens when anyone moves in with me for a long period of time, and now she's here to actually try the game out herself. Next up, we have a celebrity amongst our ranks. It is none other than the executive at whattimeisit.com, briefly governor of California, and inventor of the dating app All About That Ace. It's Todd Chavez. What is this, a crossover episode? No, for real, this isn't actually Todd Chavez. If there was a way to manifest a fictional character and bring them to life to make them play a game of Survivor, I absolutely would cast Todd Chavez on this series, but I guess that's what Fun with Brant Steele is for. Todd Chavez is another Finnvivor newbie. I actually know him in real life. I went to college with him and lived with him for a semester. He's actually one of the only people that I haven't managed to get hooked on Survivor, but he's got the Pokemon knowledge to back it up. When I told him this season was going to be themed on Scarlet and Violet, he was all in despite the fact that he has absolutely zero knowledge of Survivor. So we're gonna see how that goes for him. Do we get to go to Applebee's too? I mean, Applebee's, if you want to sponsor me, I'm down. Spencer, what are you doing there, buddy? Alright, now, anyone who's been following Finnvivor for any amount of time would know that a reboot of Finnvivor wouldn't be complete without someone who, let's just cut right to the chase here. He almost won Season 6, ran the game during second chances until his ultimate elimination, and was the second boot of Heroes vs. Villains. Sam, welcome back to Finnvivor. He is known for being really good at puzzles, really long confessionals, and getting voted out a lot. There was a mechanic in Season 7 that basically allowed him to be voted out without actually being voted out of the game, and he took full advantage of said mechanic. He was voted out several times that season without actually being voted out of the game, only for him to make it into the merge and ultimately be dethroned. Now, the next player is going to have a very hard time with the whole PG-13 rule with how much he swears. I mean, real talk, I don't care if people swear, but just for the sake of the joke. Samuel Jackson, or just Samuel on the season. So yes, we do have a Samuel and a Sam. Try not to get them confused. I have known Samuel for quite some time. He's been around since back when I was hosting Survivor games on the Town of Salem forums, and he's played in quite a few of them, honestly more than I can even count. He even managed to win a season of Finnvivor, technically. This next player played on our Percy Jackson season. Yeah, that one. The one where the winner won on accident. That was Samuel, by the way. There's a pretty big asterisk next to his name on the winners list, but he still won. Basically, for those of you who are familiar with Big Brother Canada, Someone pulled a topaz and accidentally voted for the person they wanted to lose instead of the person they wanted to win. Technically, Samuel won, though, because he got votes. But anyways, Mooley comes to us from Finnvivor Half-Blood Hill, the Percy Jackson-themed season of Finnvivor. There was a lot of, shall we say, interesting stuff that went on, but honestly, Mooley was the biggest bright spot of that season. She's absolutely hilarious. And even though she's not great on the strategic side of things, she really does brighten up any cast that she's a part of. So, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, not only do we have a Sam and a Samuel, but we also have an Alexander and an Alex. Now, this is Alessandro. Now, unfortunately, Alessandro has since left the server, so unfortunately, I can't change his roles. I asked him if he wanted to come back, but he ghosted me, so here we are. If you see his name in white, just know that he is actually on the Miriden tribe. So the question, what is October 9th? It is Leif Erikson Day, and that was the transition I decided to use to introduce our next player, Leif, another Finnvivor newbie. Honestly, I don't really know what to say about Leif. I feel like he just kind of speaks for himself. You'll get to see more once the game starts. So next we have to talk about Echo. Now, Echo comes to us from Season 5, where she ultimately made it to the merge. However, unfortunately, about 12 hours into the season, we did have to replace Echo with a different player. Unfortunately, she decided that she needed to drop out of the game for personal reasons. But the player that she does get replaced with is none other than Janice. Now, Janice is definitely an interesting figure in Finnvivor history. She comes to us from Season 4, a season that pit a tribe of 8 Finnvivor legends against 8 Finnvivor players who had yet to live up to their potential, against 8 completely new Finnvivor players. And Janice was so decisive that 4 players on her starting tribe decided that they wanted her out immediately. But Janice was able to rally the other 4 players onto her side and force a rock draw in the very first vote. Yes, Janice did that. Now, she is known for being a bit confrontational, and some people would use the word mean to describe her, and as a result, she was a target for most of the game going forward. But despite all that, she managed to get her way all the way to the final tribal council, where she ultimately took 2nd place. Bit of a controversial finish there because I let one of the jurors switch their votes technically after the deadline, but it was before I actually read the votes. So technically Janice should have won Season 4, but it's okay. Because of that, we brought Janice back for our Second Chances season, where she largely played the same way she did on her first season, except without being quite as much of a target early on. She managed to make it all the way to the final tribal council again, next to 2 other players who were runner-ups in their first season, and she managed to beat them by a fairly close margin. I believe it was like a 5-3-2 vote. Although the next player is relatively new to Finnvivor, they made their mark on our 12th season when I decided to do a no idol season for some reason. And then they came back to slay yet again in our Big Brother spin-off. We are talking about none other than Isaac, also known as King Ike. Now, I'll just go ahead and show you his profile now, since his profile picture has kind of changed. He has the Fessel profile picture. I guess he's a stan. I don't know. I'm not really that invested in the challenge anymore. It's just kind of there. But Isaac is a strategic force to be reckoned with. He comes to us from Dom's Discord Big Brother. If you haven't checked out that org, I highly recommend it. He managed to win Season 9 of that org and has been a member of production ever since, and we are so happy to have him back once again. And finally, we have another player who made their first appearance in our Big Brother spin-off. And he's back for a reason. We are talking about none other than Morris. Morris played with us for the first time in our Big Brother spin-off, and he has been patiently waiting for his chance to play a full-on season of Finnvivor. Since he was able to make it all the way to the end of the Big Brother game and win in a 7-0 vote, we thought that it was more than appropriate that we give him his shot right here in Finnvivor Paldea. Well, That does it for our Finnvivor Paldea cast reveal. If you like what you saw, definitely leave a like and comment down below on who your winner pick is for the season. And I have more good news for you because part 1 of episode 1 has already been uploaded to this very YouTube channel. You can check that out in the link in the description below. And if you don't want to miss the very moment a new Finnvivor episode comes out, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. That's going to do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching the Finnvivor Paldea cast reveal, and I will see you next time. Until then, the tribe has spoken.